Hey, what's up, traders? To watch this video here for the last trading day of May, which would be Friday, May 28th. Don't forget the market is closed on Monday for Memorial Day, May 31st. The daily chart of the SPY, as a day trader, that's not great when you see a very narrow range. We also had that yesterday. But as a chat room member, I'm very proud of the teamwork in there because we did a great job of rooting out the good stuff, right? I'll show you a couple highlights for those who didn't make it to chat today. PIRS, let's look at the intraday. Remember, this was just on watch. We didn't know what for, and it gave an A+ setup. So it's in kind of a narrow range, curling up. I called it long over 350, half number inflection point with the high of day right here at 355. And then if we light up the new highs ticker on what I would call a recent high flyer, there's a good chance we squeeze, and there's the 350 break, and that's exactly what it did. It went up to, I think, at the best, 415, but a very nice percentage move. We were never underwater after the entry. Love that. That's the kind of stocks, the kind of setups we look for. And another one that comes to mind is Fubo. Go back to 5-minute candles here. Just called this, kind of had an intraday cup and handle. I just called this long over the high of day at 24.40 with yesterday's high above, and you can't see it on here, at least I think. Maybe not, 200-day might not have been in play. But with yesterday's high above on a recent move or two, and the 24.40 break got us all the way to 25.61. Also really without looking back. So a couple nice highlights there. I had some pullbacks in AMC as well. I had a really nice pullback in UPST. I'll show you that. I didn't put it on the results page, but put this on watch. Somebody in the room pointed out how strong it was, right? And I put it on the, I typed it in the chat room as a fives buy zone play. I actually got filled, I want to say, on this candle at 162.64, something like that. And within 5 minutes, I'm up over $5. That was a really neat little play. And just another example of using the daily chart, the intraday strength, and the buy zone pullback technique to have a nice trade when this wasn't even on my watch list. Again, another example of the great teamwork in the room. All right, anyway, what are we watching for tomorrow? SOS had a nice volume spike and closed near the highs, and it's trading probably over the last 2 weeks worth of trading, so we're going to see if that gives any kind of setup. EXPR, nice pop yesterday, inside day today, maybe through 5 tomorrow. This one could be interesting with today's high being 502 and yesterday's high being 533. We have a kind of a stacked catalyst scenario. FUV, very close to a 2-day high break here. 967 yesterday, 965 today. I like this over the 2-day high. The EV plays are starting to kind of come back in favor. RKT had an intraday squeeze here and then kind of calmed down and went sideways for the end of the day, but closing well off its highs. I still think it's worth watching tomorrow. UPST, I already mentioned that one. Very strong move today. And basically trading went out at close to all-time highs. So we're going to watch that one. Keep in mind, that one's been moving for a couple days already. But certainly worth watching. NKLA, speaking of EV plays, really nice breakout today out of, I don't know, like a 3-month range maybe? 2-month range. On strong volume and went out at the highs. That one needs to be watched for the next several days. Lizzie, L-I-Z-I, I don't love this, but it did have the pop yesterday. And kind of a quiet inside day to day. We'll see if it gives a setup. Mentioned PIRS. It's a weird chart, right? You had the big pop, but then you had the gap up and then the sell off. And then now it closed about where it closed 2 days ago after the big pop. So who knows? But I think it's been trading pretty well. So I think it's worth having on a chart. Remember, I don't hold anything overnight. So I'm looking for stuff that might give me a trade the next trading day. SPCE, certainly extended, right? Way above the moving averages. But when you go to intraday, you see this really nice squeeze here and then a pullback. I actually had a bid at 30.61 as this was coming down. Probably looked like that. Had a bid at 30.61, trying to play that fives buy zone. And I, like a genius, I pulled the bid. Now, my reason was we have like 5 or 10 minutes left in the day. How much can it bounce? Well, I would have got filled at 30.61. And in the next 5 minutes, it went up, to 31.13. So it would have been a nice little end of day trade, right? Anyway. I like this squeeze in it. I think maybe, if we get kind of an opening range breakout in the afternoon or something. But otherwise, be careful with this one because it's certainly extended. ANVS. This one, I'm only looking for one specific thing, all right? Well, actually two. You course takers know the gap down bounce play. If we get that, that's interesting. But also what I'd like to see, the other thing I'm looking for, would just be somewhat of a narrow range and an afternoon break to the upside out of that narrow range. That could give us a little mini squeeze before the weekend. So that one, this is just on Bounce Watch, and I'm looking for very specific things. Otherwise, I won't trade it. ITRM, there's really nothing interesting here except in after hours trading at $1.54. So potential gap and go tomorrow. Definitely is holding up well in after hours. And then lastly, another gapper, ULTA in after hours. This is trading at 344 on earnings. So there's probably right about where my cursor is there. Still have a catalyst above. And that's it. That's what I'm watching. We'll find other gappers in the pre-market. And let's finish the week and the month strong. And I'll see you guys in the chat room in the morning.